Is God the ultimate observer? Bledsoe and Cayce, two really insightful people, one from the past, one in the present. We're going to pull in what they reveal about quantum physics and what quantum physics says about the creation of all things, including what you're doing every day. Are you ready for this? Because here's a question that really got me thinking this week. If a particle doesn't choose physical reality until a conscious observer looks at it, what was observing the universe into existence before any human existed? I'm going to walk you through what Chris Bledsoe, Edgar Cayce, and quantum physicist Federico Faggin, who created the microprocessor, a very smart guy, all converge on as the answer. And once you understand this, the way you look at your own creative power will never be the same. And before this video ends, I'm going to show you the exact sentence, word for word, that both Bledsoe and Cayce used to describe the same moment. Different decades, different worlds, identical language. Stay with me. Let's go. Welcome to Landria on YouTube. Did you know that fear is one of the biggest limitations on the entire planet? You can move past it and start to create any reality. Everything is a probability with a wave that turns into a particle upon observation, which means you and I are creating that reality. Now, to understand what I'm going to show you, we need to start with the observer effect. And I'm going to keep this simple. This isn't a physics lecture. This is about your reality. In quantum physics, the science of the very small, particles don't have a fixed position, right? They exist in what's called a probability wave, everywhere at every time. A particle can be in multiple places at once. It only chooses one location when it's observed or measured. Yes, your observation, your belief, your focus, and you're doing it right now. That's not a metaphor. That is actual, verified, replicated science. The act of observation collapses infinite possibility into one concrete reality. And you and I can change anything based on that scientific fact. Do you feel what I'm saying here? Federico Faggin, let's talk about him, the physicist who invented the microchip. Yeah, we wouldn't have these if it wasn't for him. And he went into a spiritual state of being and saw the universe and realized what it was. He wasn't a philosopher, not a mystic. He dedicated the second half of his life to understanding consciousness. And what he conducted is this: consciousness is not produced by the brain. Consciousness is the foundation that matter emerges from consciousness. So meaning consciousness is prior to physical reality, just like the observer is prior to the collapsed particle. All right, the observer, my beliefs behind my observation create that reality. It's a collapsed particle. It shows up as an event, a situation, a physical thing in the real world, or let's say the illusion of the real world. Now, I want you to sit down with that for a moment, because this is where Cayce comes in. Edgar Cayce spoke of the universal mind. Edgar Cayce, the most documented psychic in American history, if you'd call him psychic, I'm not sure that's the right word, he gave over 14,000 readings. And in those readings, he described something he called the universal mind, or source, a field of infinite intelligence that underlies all of reality. We need to listen to this guy. Sound familiar? He said, every soul that has ever existed is a projection of this universal mind. So we're always thinking about what we're creating out here. Well, what created us? If we're the observers that creates this world, what's creating this whole reality? Like a thought. We were a thought in the mind of God. Now, here's what's extraordinary. Cayce said this in the 1930s and 40s, long before quantum physics developed the concept of a quantum field, an underlying field of potential from which all particles emerge. This is real stuff. It's documented. So let's talk about the quantum field, the universal mind, the observer, three different traditions, the exact same thing. Let's be honest, this isn't a coincidence. This isn't woo-woo made up crap. This is real science, and it's documented. Let's talk about Cayce's timeline. Of course, he never said actual dates, but we're looking at the actual events that he predicted, and those are happening now. Let's talk about October 2026. That's a big time period. We'll see what happens. But Cayce's readings consistently described a period of transformation beginning in the early 21st century. That's our time period. He used the phrase, a new order of the ages, not an end, a transition, a shift in the frequency of human consciousness. That means we, The observers are changing those thoughts that change that reality out there. Just our thoughts alone, our frequency, our change of mind changes what's going to appear out there. That means nothing Cayce ever said isn't changeable. Baba Vanga, any of them were in control of that. And they taught this. Now, right now, in the second half of 2026, multiple prophecy traditions are independently pointing to a specific window of transformation. I'll connect those threads in a moment, but first, here's what Cayce actually said that this shift would require. He didn't describe this as something that happens to you. He described it as something that happens through you and actually what you're doing. You and I are in charge. There's no outside source that's doing it because you and I and it are one. You are not separate from the universal mind. You are a projection of it. You are consciousness experiencing itself in physical form. Sort of weird, isn't it? This means that the shift isn't just about the world changing. It's about you recognizing what you've always been. And it's not just this body. Nothing's in stone, but the convergence we're watching unfold right now points to this, directly to this big transformation that Bledsoe mentioned, that we'll find out if there's any event that's going to happen. Regardless, we are going into a huge transformation. Now, this is exactly where Chris Bledsoe's contact experiences became extraordinary. Let's talk about Chris Bledsoe and the presence. Chris Bledsoe's been having contact experiences since 2007. Maybe before that, maybe there's stuff he hasn't even told us about his childhood. His case has been investigated by the CIA, the Pentagon, and NASA. That's been very controversial. This is not a fringe story. He's one of the most credible and well-documented contact cases in American history. That's why they're giving him attention. He's the real deal. They can't dispute him. Now, what's the most consistent thing Bledsoe describes in these encounters? It's not the craft. It's not the beings. He describes what he calls the presence, a vast, loving intelligence, a field of consciousness that is everywhere at once, that he communicates with or without any kind of being appearing. He has said, and I've watched multiple interviews, I even have his book, that this presence communicated that we are all one. That what humans experience as separation is an illusion, and that there is a shift coming in which this truth will become undeniable. It will be presented to us in a way that maybe we don't expect. Very exciting to look forward to. Do you feel it? That's the observer. That's the universal mind. That's what Cayce called the source. It's all the same thing. From what I know, Bledsoe didn't read Cayce. Cayce didn't read quantum physics for sure. And yet they're all describing the same structure of reality. Do you see how powerful you are? And now I promised you the exact sentence. The word for word language both Bledsoe and Cayce used to describe the same moment. Here it is. Cayce said, "The spirit is the life. The spirit is the life. The mind is the builder. The physical is the result." Isn't that beautiful? And you are all of this. Bledsoe's contact said, consciousness is the creator. Everything physical is its expression. Different decades, different worlds, one sentence. That convergence is not an accident. This is real stuff, peeps. And you and I are participating in it. And the more that you focus on exactly what you want, the more you will see it come into reality because you are that powerful. That convergence, yeah, this is not coincidence, not an accident. Are you ready for more? Because we're about to get very practical and I want to show you exactly how to use this. So let's talk about the 3 implications for you. Now, here's what most quantum physicists have never been willing to admit publicly, and it's something Bledsoe's contact said directly. I'm going to share that with you right now because it changes everything about how you understand your role in what's happening. The observers and the observed are not separate. That's a tough one, I know. You are the quantum observer, and what you are observing right now, the world around you, the reality you live in, the future you believe is coming, you are collapsing into that physical existence in real time. Be careful what you're watching and thinking and believing. It's the present moment creating it, and the present moment is the past thoughts and beliefs. You're seeing that reflection. So don't ever get freaked out by your present day. The present day thoughts and beliefs are what will change that. That is just, as Dolores Cannon called, old news. 3 things are true about you right now because of everything we've just covered. Number 1, you're not a passive receiver of reality. You are an active creator of it. The observer effect proves that your attention, your consciousness literally collapses probability into physical reality. Yes, you're doing it. There's no outside source that you ask for that. You're doing it. Every moment you focus on fear, you are observing fear into existence, and you will remain in that loop. Every moment you hold the vision of the new earth, you're observing that into existence. And you may say, well, this is my situation right now, so this is the real reality. This is not illusion. I'll say, no, these are the thoughts you've had up till this moment. And as soon as you change this, you will see all of your circumstances change in ways you never thought or imagined possible, no matter how dire they seem. Cayce said exactly this: what you dwell upon in consciousness, you bring forth in experience. Nothing's in stone except what you keep observing. Number two, the October 2026 window is not happening to the world. It is a collective observation shift. We're actually going to bring it into existence. It's not just going to pop in. We have to participate in it. When enough consciousness shifts simultaneously, and the seers, the data, and the contact intelligences all suggest this window is now, the collective observer effect becomes planetary. Reality doesn't just change for one person, it changes for everyone. This is what Cayce meant by the new order, not some weird other phrase that sounds like people taking over. The new order is a real order that is beautiful. This is what Bledsoe's context described. The divine feminine, not a physical event in the sky, a shift in what humanity collectively chooses to observe. We're just going to create our new reality. And when everybody recognizes that each of us participate, and without each of us, the puzzle is not complete, then nothing will come into place like we have the possibility to create. Nothing will come into this reality until we collectively make it happen. Number three, your role is not to watch the shift. Your role is to be the shift. You're watching all these predictions. What's going to happen? And my question to you is, I don't know. They're telling you what's going to happen according to what you want, believe, focus on, and you have to take actions. Faggin said, consciousness is the most fundamental thing in the universe. Cayce said, you are a projection of the universal mind. It's so much greater than we can comprehend. Bledsoe's context said, we are all one. That means you, right now, watching this video. You're a node in the universal observer. Your shift in consciousness is not separate from the planetary shift. It is the planetary shift. I want you to remember that. And you might have limitations and say, no, this is how things are. And I'm going to ask you, do you want to limit yourself? If this is landing for you, please hit subscribe. Give this a thumbs up. I put this out 3 times a week because this is a conversation that cannot stop right now. Okay, let's keep going. So the payoff, how to use the observer effect right now. Now, I want to talk directly to you because I know that in the world right now, it is very easy to feel small and be overwhelmed, that what you do or think or believe doesn't matter. Let's be honest, most of us have had that feeling this year. Even I wonder, how much of an impact am I making? And then I go back to the fact that we have no limits and we are that very source. But what quantum physics says, what Cayce and what Bledsoe's contact intelligence all agree on is this: that feeling of smallness is the illusion. Your consciousness is not a passenger in this reality. It is the vehicle. You have control. I don't want you to ever forget the beauty and power of the source of you. The observer effect is not a metaphor. It is the mechanism of creation. So here's what I'm going to give you right now, a rendering practice. Federico Faggin described rendering as not creating something from nothing. It's bringing into existence in this 3D world what already exists in the field of possibilities. As a scientist, brilliant guy. That is your function as the observer. Here's how you do it. Take one area of your life where you've been observing lack, limitation, or fear, just one, and for the next 7 days, every time your attention goes there, redirect it. Observe the reality you choose. See it, feel it, know it is done. Switch over, switch over. You ever seen a video that got my channel going? Yeah, it's called What Am I Manifesting? When you have that negative thought, say, wow, what am I manifesting? I don't like that. And you switch over. Switch over to that new reality. That's not wishful thinking. That is quantum mechanics in practice. If you haven't seen that video, go watch it. It really put me on the map because we did it in less than 3 seconds. And you can do it all day long. You will reprogram yourself and you'll start to create that reality, and things will show up in your life and on this planet that will blow your mind because you're not praying to God. You're not waiting for God. You are the projection of the universal observer in physical form. Ye are all gods. This you shall do and more. Yes, the words of Christ, you are the point where infinite consciousness meets physical reality. And in this October 2026 window, as this collective observation shifts, accelerates, the question is not whether it will happen, the question is whether you will be consciously participating in it. We have people that say nothing's happened, and I'm saying, well, you may not be feeling it, but I chose it, and I am. That's our mission. You get to create yours. If this resonates with you, again, please give me a thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't already. Drop a comment. Tell me, do you feel the shift happening? Do you feel like you're a different person? I know I do. Big things have happened. I'm not doing the same things. I'm not earning money the same way. It was all good. But now my directives are on helping you. I have a free webinar. In fact, I have two of them. And if you want to sign up for landria.com, free inspiration, it's down in the description along with other really amazing things that helps our planet. Go check it out, get your free webinar. And I have a membership, and I take you through every single step to move past, break through the fear, and start to create a reality you never imagined possible. This is our responsibility, and this is our mission. There are no mistakes. Source doesn't make mistakes. I hope you'll take a look at my book. My book was a download, and it explains what's going on now, what the tipping point is, what's the knowing, and what we truly are. It may be the last spiritual book you ever have to read. Again, you are whole and perfect, strong and powerful, loving, harmonious, and happy. That's from the Master Key System. That was another powerful book that changed lives just from declaring things in which wave turned into particle and collapsed. You ready for that? I'll see you in the next video. We're going to start focusing more and more on how you can make changes in your life just like that. Namaste.